Welcome to Cliff Notes, the podcast where business meets inspiration and strategy meets balance. I'm Brandon Clifford, CEO of Business Alliance Inc., entrepreneur, investor, and your guide through the world of business, franchising, and leadership. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur, an inspiring franchisee, or just someone looking for actionable advice to take your career to the next level, Cliff Notes is here for you. Join me as we break down the complexities of business and life into bite-sized, actionable insights. This is Cliff Notes, your shortcut to success.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cliff Notes, the podcast where we bring you short, insightful notes to improve your business and your life. I'm your host, Brandon Clifford, and today we're going to dive into one of the most misunderstood but essential leadership traits out there. That's real optimism. Now let's clear something up just right away. Optimism isn't pretending that everything's fine. It's not slapping on a smile when you're actually sinking. And it's definitely not denial. It's not fake it till you make it, right? Real optimism is honest. It sees reality for what it is, but it believes we're not done yet. Things can improve, and that with grit, grace, and God's guidance, the future can be better than it is today. And that belief, it can change everything. So what is real optimism? Let's just define what real optimism is and what it isn't. There's a dangerous version of optimism out there. It floats around leadership circles. It's one that says you should always look happy, always act confident. Like I said, act as is. Never let them see you sweat. But that's not leadership. That's just performance. The late Admiral James Stockdale, a Vietnam POW, he inspired what Jim Collins later called the Stockdale Paradox. He said, "You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality." That's real optimism, holding both faith and facts in the same hand. So let's share some stories of optimism and leadership and how it's worked for companies. I'm going to start with a brand you've all heard of before, one that I've mentioned on this podcast before at Starbucks. Their CEO, Howard Schultz, right? In 2008, Starbucks was in decline. Quality was down. They had stores closing. All their momentum was gone. And then when Schultz came back as their CEO, he didn't sugarcoat it. He acknowledged that the company had, they put it this way, had lost its way. And then he made a bold move. He closed all his U.S. stores for one day to retrain all his baristas. A whole day, entire country shut down. And this wasn't just some PR stunt. It was a real reset. Schultz believed that Starbucks could reignite its soul. And that belief, backed by action, that's what led to a massive turnaround to where Starbucks is today. You see them on every corner, right? Every shopping mall, every airport, every hotel. Shift gears a little bit, talk about another organization you've all heard of before, which is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A gave a real masterclass in what real optimism is during the COVID pandemic. It's a brand we all know. It deserves serious spotlight in this arena as well. When the pandemic hit, restaurants were closing everywhere. Everything was shutting down. Uncertainty was the only thing that was certain at that time, right? But Chick-fil-A, they led with calm, courage, and creativity. They innovated fast. They expanded their drive-thrus. They opened up new lanes. Team members started using tablets to take mobile orders outside. They launched curbside pickup, contactless delivery, almost overnight, stuff they'd never done before. One location of theirs even set up a full-scale outdoor drive-through village in a parking lot with canopies, portable registers, custom signage, all the works. This wasn't panic. This was optimism powered by purpose. They prioritized their people. Their operators across the country found ways to keep employees paid and safe. In Texas, I heard that one operator actually personally delivered groceries to their quarantine staff. He also wrote handwritten notes, thank you notes, and tucked them into every single paycheck for their employees. This wasn't just feel-good fluff. It was a leader who was saying, "I see you, and we're in this together." That's optimism. They went above and they served their community as well. They started their shared table program. And through that program, Chick-fil-A donated unsold food to local food shelters and families in need. In cities across the country, their teams delivered meals to hospitals, first responders. Through this all, they gave no press releases. There was no fanfare, just service. So their former CEO, Dan Cathy, once said, "We must never lose sight of the fact that we're not in the chicken business. We're in the people business." And that belief, that calling never wavered, even in this crisis, because their culture is rooted in servant leadership and optimism. So let's talk about some deeper roots here, because for me, this is not just a strategy, right? This is a posture. Let's go straight to the Bible. Romans 5:3 verse 5 says, "We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame." Hope that's forged in difficulty, right? That's real hope. That's optimism. Look at Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. It reminds us, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think about such things. We're not told to ignore hardship, but filter our focus. Fix our eyes on what matters most. All right, so let's talk about some practical takeaways. How can you learn from this and lead with real optimism, right? We'll look at 5 practical ways you can live this out. Number 1, as a leader, you need to name the challenge, right? You have to be the leader who tells the truth. Trust is built in honesty. Number 2, you have to cast a credible vision. You have to always keep your eyes focused on where we're going and share that with others, right? Optimism is without a plan. It's just noise. It's just fluff. So you have to lay out the way forward, even if it's messy to get there, and people will follow. Number 3, celebrate your progress. Small wins matter, so celebrate them. Name them. Let people feel the momentum that your organization is building. Number 4, show up consistently. You cannot vanish in the hard times. You have to always be present and lead visibly. And number 5, fuel your own hope. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take some time to pray, rest, read, talk with mentors, gain wisdom. Stay filled so that you as a leader can overflow to others. So I want to leave you all with this. As Winston Churchill once said, "The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty." Your team doesn't need a cheerleader. It doesn't need fake cheer. What they need is real hope. This world needs real hope, real strength, and real leaders who believe, not blindly, but boldly. So thank you so much for joining me today on Cliff Notes. If this episode encouraged you, share it with a fellow leader, subscribe, shoot me a note. I'd love to hear what optimism looks like in your world. So until next time, that's the note. See you again very soon.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Business Alliance Insights. I hope you're walking away with some valuable insights to help grow and strengthen your business. If you're looking to connect with other business leaders, franchisors, franchisees, brokers, or even just looking to explore more tools to scale your business, be sure to get connected to our BAI network and check out FranLink, our exclusive social media platform built solely for our members. You can learn more about it and everything Business Alliance Inc. has to offer by visiting businessallianceinc.com. Again, that's businessallianceinc.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other business leaders who are ready to take their businesses, their brands to the next level.